The Nobel Peace Prize is one of the 5 original Nobel Prizes established by the will of Alfred Nobel, the inventor of dynamite, in 1895. The nominees for the award are chosen by a body appointed by the Norwegian Parliament, according to the Nobel will. It is given to those who have done the most or the best act of fraternity among nations in order to abolish or reduce permanent armies and in order to preserve and promote peace. But why has the Nobel Peace Prize always been a controversial and sometimes humorous topic in public and human rights circles? It is better to examine some examples together to illustrate this issue. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger and his Vietnamese counterpart, Le Duc Tho, were awarded a joint Nobel Peace Prize for the Vietnam Peace Accords in 1973, yet Kissinger broke the accords almost immediately after signing them. The South Vietnamese government resumed its attacks on the National Liberation Front, and the US resumed bombing North Vietnam. The war didn't end until 1975. Le Duc Tho refused to accept the award on the grounds that there was no peace in Vietnam. Kissinger was also behind the bombings of Cambodia and Laos, backed Indonesia's invasion of East Timor, played an important role in the 1973 CIA-organized coup against the elected government in Chile, and was one of the organizers of Operation Condor, a campaign by the US and several South American dictatorships to eliminate all dissidents from the region. We all know that USA has a command over the Nobel Prizes, but in 2009 we became sure of that when they awarded Nobel Peace Prize to Barack Obama for extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. Just remember that he got that award just after 9 months he became president. Now, is it possible for anyone, no matter how powerful he is, to achieve anything like that in 9 months? Later, Nobel Committee explained that Obama took some steps for peace, which they thought would be accelerated by Nobel Prize. How funny. In 2015, one of the members of that committee said it was wrong decision to award Obama with a Nobel so early as he couldn't achieve anything in his 8 years. Was a 15-year-old school-going girl from Swat Valley, northwest Pakistan, where local Taliban prohibited schooling of girls. They found Malala and other girls going to school in their bus, and they started firing on bus, in which Malala got shot in her head. But she survived and recovered completely in London. Sounds good up till now, no? What happened next is a bit funny. Malala got attention of whole world. Everyone was praising her for her bravery. As the story was told, she was activist at the age of 15, who's fighting for girls' right of schooling. She even won Nobel Prize after that. But thing is, our beloved teenage activist never went back to Pakistan, where she needed to resume her fight. Till date, she has never visited her home country once after that incident. She started writing books, blogs, started giving motivating interviews, and all of sort. But the fact is, Malala got hit by a bullet in blind fire on the school bus. There were other schoolgirls present with her, who stayed behind and fought the actual fight. After months of the incident, they again started with their schooling. On the other hand, Malala was enjoying her lavish stay in London. Was she doing something for the girls of her country other than giving interviews? No. The other girls who started the real revolution after incident deserved so much credit, not Malala Yousafzai. We need not look further than last year's Nobel Peace Prize winner to find a horrible laureate. The Ethiopian Prime Minister won the award for accepting the terms of the Algiers Agreement, ending the dispute over territories and stalemate that had persisted since the end of the war against Eritrea, 1998 to 2000. The very next year, he started a civil war against the Tigray region of North Ethiopia, which has involved ethnic profiling and widespread violence against ethnic Tigrayans. Millions of children have been cut off from receiving humanitarian aid, leading to starvation and a full-blown humanitarian crisis. Aung San Suu Kyi. The famous Burmese political activist won the Peace Prize in 1991 for standing up against the military junta of her home country while promoting democracy and non-violence. After she won the general elections to become Prime Minister, she was put under house arrest but refused the offer of freedom if she left the country. One can understand the Nobel Committee's motivation for giving her the award at the time. Unfortunately, her reign has been anything but non-violent since she assumed office as State Councillor in 2016. The genocide of the Rohingya people is one of the worst humanitarian disasters in recent years, and the persecution of journalists and Aung San Suu Kyi's failure to admit there is a problem hasn't made the situation any better. "I don't think there is ethnic cleaning going on," Suu Kyi told the BBC in April. "I think ethnic cleansing is too strong an expression to use for what is happening."
Where does this love begin? In our own family, in our own home. How does it begin? By praying together.
Mother Teresa dedicated her life to eradicating poverty. She gave up the 20th century world of materialism to help the destitute and diseased, often risking her own life on the front lines of her missionary work. She said sweet things like, "Peace begins with a smile." By the time of her death in 1997, she had won the Nobel Peace Prize and was operating 517 missions in 100 different countries. Or at least, that is the official line created by 35 years of aggressive campaigning by the Church to make Mother Teresa the poster of modern Catholicism. Mother Teresa was motivated almost wholly by ministry. She publicly bragged about coercing vulnerable people into conversions on their deathbeds. Her staunch views on women's bodies were made clear when she declared abortion the biggest destroyer of love and peace, a speech she received a standing ovation. Two people who refused to stand for her in that moment were President Bill Clinton and Hillary Rodham Clinton, his wife. She was a loud critic of contraception and divorce laws and spent most of her life campaigning in country after country against women's rights. Yasser Arafat. In 1994, the Nobel Peace Prize was shared amongst 3 individuals for their work on the Oslo Peace Accords. These 3 recipients were Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, Israeli Foreign Minister Shimon Peres, and Yasser Arafat. These accords were thought to be a giant step forward in the right direction, but turned out to be another failed attempt to stop one of the longest-running conflicts the world has ever seen. The criticism here comes in 2 parts, one being that the accords are a failure. The other is that of Arafat. He has been linked to violence, bombings, hijackings, and assassinations. He has a long list of crimes that has led many to refer to the Palestinian leader as so-called father of modern terrorism. His critics have stated that he is the worst man ever to win the award, so the controversy surrounding Arafat's victory is pretty warranted. Is the prize really about peace, or is it a political tool? Are some winners getting the prize too soon? These questions are hard to answer definitively, but it's clear that the Nobel Peace Prize once a prestigious award for those promoting peace and unity, has become a source of debate and doubt. Why? Because many winners' actions often contradict the prize's ideals. What do you think about the Nobel Peace Prize? Is it still a symbol of global peace, or has it become a political tool? Let us know in the comments below.